Hello everybody, I'm your host here, Eric Bird at StopStrugglingNow.com, and today we're going to talk about business funding, how to start, how to get on the path to business funding. This is going to assume you already have your LLC, you have your license in place, you have your tax ID in place, EIN, but I'm going to show you how to get started. So it's going to be 5 to 6 months. That's right, 5 to 6 months to get your business credit seasoned, so to speak. Why am I standing in front of Wells Fargo? Because they have something to do with this. So everybody, you can pay attention to this one and how you're going to get business funding from scratch. And then we're not going to go to the finish because it's a long video if I did that. So all the beginners, here we go. So please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. Hello, welcome back. Business Funding Day. Haven't went over this in a while since we had Darcy on a few months ago. A lot of you want to start a business. A lot of you feel a little threatened or maybe not sure, insecure about starting a business and how to get funding. It's relatively simple. It's just that they try to keep it a mystery. People want to be mentors, take your money and then try to show you something that they're going to do for you in the first place. Well, you know how we do it here at StopStrugglingNow.com. We make sure you know what's happening. So let's get real. First off, we're at the Stop Struggling Now page. And you can see some of the previous videos. You can go over them. Now we're up to over 70 videos. My time flies, how things go. But let's just start from the beginning. A lot of you may already have started a business and a lot of you may have not. So I'm going to briefly go over how you want to start your LLC. I won't go over that part per se because it's pretty simple to get an LLC now. But most people I'll just gloss over real fast. Once you get your LLC in whichever particular state you choose, you're going to have to get your EIN number. Now, remember, as far as business funding goes, they like to see a business address. Now, I'm not talking about a UPS address, and I'm not talking about your residential home address. So don't use UPS is what I'm saying, and don't use your home address as your business address. And keep in mind also that your business address has to match on all your business paperwork. And when you apply for business credit, all of it has to line up. So you're not going to want to start out your LLC and have your home address attached to it, because that's how they actually track you for your business. So if they see two different addresses and one looks like it's a home address and then one says, well, it's a UPS box address or something that doesn't look quite right, you're not going to get funding. So let's start with you have zero funding. Okay, so a lot of you will be in this boat. So we simply go to the IRS. First, I'll say it, just get your LLC. It's a simple matter. You can go to any Secretary of State website and follow the instructions to form an LLC. But again, your address is going to have to be a different address, a virtual address, if you need it, if you don't have an office. So anyhow, we're at the irs.gov site, as you can see up here. And you just simply put in EIN, do a search, because I'll treat this as if you've never been there before. And as you can see, this is the page that comes up, employer ID numbers, and then from here you're on the EIN page and you apply for an EIN online. It's that simple. This is how you start it. And then they're saying determine your eligibility. You're going to have to give them your SSN, your social security number, and you just fill it out and you just start. See, simple. You'll have an EIN number almost instantly, and it's sent to you, and then here's your options. And most people, if you have an LLC, that's where you're going to start. If you have any of these other trusts, estates, partnerships, if you're trying to do a sole proprietor, you can do one, but you're not going to reap the benefits from a business standpoint, nor can you get business funding. So let's just, I'll click on the limited liability for you so you can see where some of this is going. So you see, it's pretty simple, it's straightforward, and there's where you put your name in, how many members, state, and you can go from there. I don't think you can go past this. So yeah, so that's how we're going to do it there. Pretty simple. And then next up, once you figure that out, you're going to need a DNB number, and you can see right here it's Dun & Bradstreet is a DNB.com, and this is where, if you need business funding, the funding companies, they actually go and look at your DNB rating, and this is how you start it. So as you can see, again, simple procedure: put in your business name, and again, this street address and suite address and all that. Don't use UPS, don't use UPS store, and don't use your residential address. Use another virtual business address, or a real business address if you have one. And it's that simple. So Dun & Bradstreet is your next maneuver. It's free, by the way, no cost. But what's going to happen is you're going to start getting phone calls. And by the way, you can't use your cell phone number, but you're going to be getting phone calls from Dun & Bradstreet, and they're going to say, hey, pay for this package, or we're going to help you out better. You don't need them at all for that. Dun & Bradstreet, you can get a number. As far as your phone numbers are concerned, that is another thing. You have to have a business phone number. And again, you might want to just use a virtual service that's a business number, and it can be forwarded, and that's your business number. You're going to be tied in. Don't use Google Voice. I don't recommend that, or any, but use a different number, and that number has to be with the 411 service. That's one of the main things. And you also want to make sure that you have a website, and that you're showing that you actually have business. So I rarely show this because there's a website here, for instance, Stop Struggling Now, and that's our website, our StopStrugglingNow.com website, and they like to see you have a website. So now you're wrapping everything into one. If they're looking for something, they'll Google you, they'll see a website, they'll see your business address on your website. Then when they dial 411 for the number that you have shown on your website, then they'll say, okay, that matches up with the address. They'll check your filings to make sure that they match up. So now they're saying, okay, it looks like the person's in business, and it looks like, you may have some things to sell. They're going, okay, now we can go further. We'll go check out his rating with DNB, Dun & Bradstreet. So it's pretty much that simple, and how your mindset has to be. That business is business, personal is personal. All right? So you don't want to try and cross over into business and personal at the same time. And then what you need to do is you need to go down, and I didn't do this, have this set for you, but once you get your LLC and EIN number, you need to go down to your bank and open up a bank account, a business banking account, okay, with that LLC documentation. All right, so you'll have your banking information as well, that any vendor or any person that's going to fund any type of credit for a business, they're going to want your banking information. So you're going to have to go down there. And also what's important is you need to have your personal account separate from your business account. In other words, if you have money going into your business account, you don't want to commingle money, so to speak. You don't want to be paying your personal bills out of your business account, because then your LLC, you'll be able to breach the corporate veil, so to speak, because they're going to say you're just using this as your own person. So therefore, this really isn't a corporation. So again, keep it in mind. You want to keep things separate regarding personal and business. You can actually pay yourself, I'll use the term dividends. The reason why I'm going to use the term dividends is for tax benefits. Most of you, a lot of you work for W-2s, work for companies, work for mom and pops, work wherever you work at, you get a W-2 or 1099, and you pay taxes based upon that. When you start changing into an LLC in a business and you pay out how you're going to pay yourself, you can make it to where you limit your tax liability. I won't go into that right now because that's a whole nother video. But I'm just letting you know right now, don't pay yourself or use your business bank account for any personal items, straight up business items. And that's why oftentimes you want to have a separate holding company, but that's also another video. But basically I'm giving you the basics right now so you don't want to cross lines. So that way you can always do something later. Okay? Now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the business funding startup. This is startup. This isn't for somebody that already has their Dun & Bradstreet number, who has a Paydex score with Dun & Bradstreet. None of that applies here. This is for everybody who's starting out. So first up, you might have heard of the Quill, the Grainger. You see all of them up here. So I'm going to just show you so you can see what the screens look like. So when you order something, make sure you order, I try to tell people to order over $100. There is plenty to order here. And the prices, you got to look around. They have little specials here and there like you'll see under deals. And usually the paper and the ink, you can go over 100 real fast. And it's just what you normally would order. But the key here is sometimes Quill will send 2 separate orders. So even though you have one order, they'll send 2 separate orders. So you're trying to make sure that the $100 plus is sent out at the same time if you can. All right? And when you check out, you're not going to give them your social security number. You're going to ask for Net30 as well. So you're going to use your EIN number, and you're going to use, you're not going to pay at that time. You're going to ask for Net30 or Net60 if they have it, but Net30. And then after you order it, it's going to come in the mail to your address. Make sure you receive it. And then what do? Once it's in receipt, you've received it, you can pay it before the Net30. Ideally, you want to pay it within the week. So this is like you're just building your score with Dun & Bradstreet, okay? So that's what you're doing. And that's what you're going to be doing with all these that we're about to do right now. And so you're going to need at least 5 or 6 of these startup funding vendor credits going on, okay? Next up is Grainger. And all of them, you use the same playbook. Do not put in your social security number, use your EIN number, and when you do the checkout to the cart, you're going to do Net30. That simple. Grainger, they have different products, usually on the more expensive side, but again, $100 or more, you got to do it. It costs, because you got to show whoever's going to fund you, you have to show them that you pay, and you pay on time, in a timely fashion. So you definitely want to do the same thing with all of these. And again, you're going to use money out of your business account. And again, you have to fund your business account. And when you're drawing up your LLC, hopefully in advance, you know how much you're funding or how much capital you're putting into it, and you write that on your articles, so then that way you know you own 100% or 50% if you have partners or whatever you're going to do. But all I'm saying is you show that you have capital that you actually put into the account. So if you're going to put in $500 to your business account, for instance, you can say that, but your hard work and any other assets could be construed as a certain number. So you could say, okay, everything we put in is worth $5,000, $10,000, whatever you make it. But the point is, you want everything to be separate when you check out of these at Grainger. You want to don't use your social security number. You pay out of your business bank account, and when you get this delivered to you within 7 days, it's ideally to pay the product off. Uline, again, they have a lot of products again to choose from. They're on the little more expensive side as well, but if you want to build your business funding, which is going to take you 4 to 6 months, okay, these don't report right away within 30 days. Sometimes they report 60 days later. So this is how it's going to go. This is going to be a slow. You're going to take 4 to 6 months before you're able to get business funding. Don't let anybody tell you any different. There's a procedure. You're not going to be able to start off, be a startup company and be able to say, well, I'm going to get a $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 line of credit or credit card or anything like that for your business when they don't have any information on you showing that you pay it, nor make money, nor have anything to show that you'll be able to pay this back. Make sure, just so you know, it takes 4 to 6 months to get this all together. You need seasoning, as we call it, so that you have some sort of a track record. And again, you need 5, 6, 7 accounts. So next up, something pretty simple. We're going to move to this spot. Monopolize Your Marketplace. This, they also report to Dun & Bradstreet. And you can see right here, well, you can see what it is. I won't even, my Mon line. But once you get to the home page, it's pretty simple. You can go down to the bottom, and here's the business credit builder. And again, it's going to cost money, but it's pretty simple. Nothing crazy. Short-term credit builder, 4 payments, $59.99. Long-term, 24 payments, $19.99. Take your pick. But again, 4 payments means 4 months. But this is going to also help your score with Dun & Bradstreet. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Up next, what you're going to see is how do we get 5 or 6? And the recommendation is you get a secured business credit card. Now, secured business credit cards, and when you're a startup, sometime when you get unsecured business credit cards, you kind of might need to use your personal credit score, which now that could come into play. But the first one to start with is the Wells Fargo Business Secured Card. No, 0 annual fees, but there's always, other things that's going to happen. There'll be fees later, the annual fee. But this right here, you're going to have to give up your personal social security number because it's going to be secured, but they're going to report to your business account. So it's pretty simple. You do have to be with Wells Fargo in some capacity, whether it's an online account, whether it's at their bank, but normally you have to have some sort of relationship with Wells Fargo. So if you don't want to use Wells Fargo, that's fine, but it's the most recommended one. We can always go with BBVA, who also has a secured Visa business credit card and may not be the best of the best, but as you can see, it's only available in these locations. It's not available everywhere. But again, this is an option for some of you who are in some of these states. And then you can always go to Capital One and start off with the Spark and see the Spark Classic. You just need your credit score could be under 600. And the beauty about these Capital One cards is that they can report to your personal credit and your EIN number. So keep that in mind. And I did the Classic, but Capital One has other cards. And let's see if I can find that real quick for you. But this brief overview, cashback business cards, yeah, so here you go. So they have different ones. So the better your credit is, see, they give you an average credit score. Like I said, you really want to, I think you can be under 600 for this, I'm pretty sure. These other ones, though, you will need to be over 700, or should be. I mean, they might say 680, but 680 and up. But either way, that's how we're going to do it. But these are the ones you can start with right now, today. If you have an LLC and an EIN number and a business address already set up and a bank account and some sort of vendor, get your vendors together, because they do ask you for other vendors that you have done business with, or a vendor could simply be your utility bill for a business. It could be the cell phone bill. It could be who you buy products from for your business, or who you've bought products from for your business. So those are all things that you're going to need: their address, their phone numbers, and the name, and sometimes the name of a person to contact at that business. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, I don't know how much faster, quicker, speedier I can get to this, but get started today, and then in 6 months, you'll be able to apply your next level, which will be store credit cards. Do not try to apply for store credit cards right now unless you already have things already set up for your under your Dun & Bradstreet and you have a score. All right? So you want your scores to be over 90, 85, 90, somewhere in there, to show that you're paying stuff on time, and you don't want to let payments linger. All right? You want to pay, if you're going to get any type of credit, business credit, even when you use these Spark cards or Wells Fargo card, you want to pay things off within 30 days if possible, because that will increase your paydex score, your Dun & Bradstreet score. So that's all you have to keep in mind. You want to be a good steward of your business profile, which is almost the same as your personal profile, paying things off fast. But on your personal, you always want to keep your debt utilization under 9%, preferably under 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there, percent debt utilization. So business-wise, this is all we're going to do. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all the comments. And by the way, please leave comments down below who has received business funding, who have actually done the seasoning, and then got to the point of 6 months later where they're able to apply for store credit cards or even business funding. Because when you start doing credit unions, sometimes like Navy Federal, Penn Fed, they give out business funding. And sometimes all it takes is 7 months, 6 months. It won't be something large, but hey, $20,000, $30,000 is large when you can have that type of credit available to build your business. And again, this is not to build your business so you can rip off the, credit card companies. This is strictly legitimate business. I'm not advocating get $100,000, $200,000 worth of credit limit down the road and then buy stuff up and then try to file bankruptcy or something nonsense. All right, this is straight legitimate business. Why not just handle business? When you have the funding, you can make the money and keep it going for life and for generations. So anyhow, thank you for listening. I appreciate your support. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And we still working hard out here. We all are. So keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.